On today's show, we're going to catch up on a little bit of the news. We'll see how Tron did in its first week of being without virtual queue. And we're going to talk about a little bit of dining in Disney World and how some things may have changed as far as our opinions. That's next on Traveling with the Mouse. Welcome, everyone, to episode number 467 of Traveling with the Mouse. I'm your host this week. My name is John, and I am joined, as always, by the man who keeps this show afloat and running, Adam.
What's up, everybody? That's me.
Adam, there would literally be no show without you.
I know that. You're preaching to the choir, sir.
Preaching to the choir. Well, I'm just letting everybody else out there know.
Yep.
All right, so why don't we just, jump right into it.
Ready to jump in sync with you.
Yeah, jump in sync.
Mm-hmm.
We'll start with Tron and the fact that it went off virtual queue.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about it in last week's show, but we didn't know what it was going to look like yet. But now in this week's show, we know a little of what it's looked like. Still a little hard to tell. It'll be a better test once it gets to be busy.
Yeah.
Because September has been traditionally slow, but the last couple of Septembers, I don't know what it is. It wasn't as slow as before, but this one seems to be pretty slow so far.
Yeah.
In the first week or two.
It is hurricane season. We got a couple of hurricanes in the works, right? So maybe that's why people just avoid it still. School starts back. I mean, all the usual reasons.
Yeah. Another tradition that continued is Labor Day, still the slowest, which we...
Holiday. Yeah. I saw, too, one of the Halloween parties recently got rained out. Like, they just stopped it. It was like...
Yeah, that bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
And as I understood, some people actually got some sort of compensation for that. I forgot what it was, like park hoppers or something.
Yeah, everybody got a one-day park hopper, like converted to a one-day park hopper. But most people, understandably, probably didn't want that. So if you wanted like a refund or whatever, you had to wait in a super long line that I think for guest services, it went all the way to the Contemporary.
Right.
All the way from
so you still had to wait in line in the rain.
Yes, if you wanted to change.
Might as well have had a party in the rain.
Yeah.
I mean.
But I think some guests were able, like, you could call and change it the next day, but a lot of people didn't want to do that. They wanted it then and there fixed, but still, understandable. So
anyway, back to what we were originally talking about, Tron. And,
yes, Tron.
How it...
Focus.
How it did. Yes, focus. On the first day, well, of course, it starts out with a pretty... Disney... Yeah, well, Disney, as what they have been doing, they over-exaggerate the wait on the app.
Skyrocketed to like 110 or something, right? Something like that.
I don't think the other attractions were exaggerated quite as bad as Tron, but it could be because they haven't figured out exactly yet.
Yeah.
Just the right amount of exaggeration.
Right.
Because sometimes it was like astronomically different. Like it would say like 50 minutes and it would be like 20 would be the actual wait. So I'm like, God, they're usually not that bad on the exaggeration. But I mean, there's been times. But yeah, after it normalizes, right? Like the beginning, there's usually a rush one way or the other, right?
Yeah.
After it normalizes, we're talking, half an hour. It might get up to an hour.
Yeah.
But I think a little bit, like we talked about it, I don't remember if we mentioned it in the last episode, but you and I did talk about it. But I think it has a little bit to do with the capacity, efficiency. The ride's pretty efficient.
Yeah.
Doesn't really experience a lot of downtime, doesn't seem.
Not typically a ton.
And it's short on top of that. So as far as time goes, I mean, even Barnstormer's longer, isn't it? So
yeah, of course. It's the same.
It's longer.
But
roughly.
Yeah, I'm looking at today's data and the actual weight, or it says average weight versus the posted weight, especially in the morning, it was hugely inflated. Yeah. And then it kind of got
hugely inflated.
On par.
You sound like you're running for president.
Yeah, okay. Right. It was probably a 20-minute wait at 9 a.m. by the time, the crowd got there, but it was posted at like 60 minutes. So for the first 2-3 hours, it was inflated by at least 20 minutes. And then about midday is when it kind of caught up at the hour level. And it kind of was around the same for the rest of the day.
Does that you're looking at actually show the downtime? Did you find it?
I didn't see any downtime.
They may not have experienced any. I mean, it sounds kind of hard to believe. Usually most attractions experience a little, even if it's short something, but they probably don't even report anything unless it's significant,
Yeah.
Well, it'll be interesting to see in the coming months when it gets busier, during times when it's busier, how it looks.
Yeah.
I still think it's
holidays.
Been long overdue for taking it off of virtual queue, and we'll get into something about that just a little bit later.
Yeah, I'm hoping too that maybe they'll finally take Seven Dwarfs Mine Train off of individual Lightning Lane, but I think it's silly that it's still on that.
Yeah.
Hopefully this will help that wait go down a little bit too. Like maybe more people standing in line at Tron will.
It seems to have made somewhat of a difference at Rope Drop.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train still has quite a few. I don't think it divides it as much as people maybe originally would have thought, just because it's kind of two different things, right? Like Tron is more older audience, we'll say, oriented, and Seven Dwarfs Mine Train is really more of a family, even though it does have a little bit higher height requirement.
Yeah.
It's really more of a family.
Yeah.
So, wait a minute, am I getting that mixed up? Mine Train's only like 38, isn't it?
38. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so see, it's more of a family.
Yeah,
versus,
it's like the same as
10 inches shorter. As far as what you have to be you have to be 10 inches taller to be on Tron. So
yeah,
it is more.
And you have to fit on it's harder, I guess, to fit on Tron's train than if you're smaller or bigger. I mean,
right. Well, I mean, at least they have the alternative, the back seat.
Yeah, they do have that. I was looking at Mine Train though, just to see the average wait today was 56 minutes, which is it's pretty low for that one.
Mm-hmm. You got to remember another thing. Disney has a tendency during these times when they think they're going to be slow to also reduce capacity in some cases.
Right, yeah. They have been known to do that, like run less boats on Pirates or not run as many trains or whatever.
They try to make it look like it's the exact same experience year-round as much as possible.
Just to make it look busy.
All right, they make it
level of business no matter what.
Right, like they try to keep it consistently the same year-round now. Anyway, couple of things just to hit right quick before we move on. We don't want to stay on this too much. Haunted Mansion Graveyard picnic scene is now fully restored after about 2 years. It's the one with the man and the woman sitting there at the picnic table with the candelabra. He's wearing a top hat. Do you know which one I'm talking about? It's been basically absent for 2 years.
Well, yeah, it has been.
And one of them, one of them was put in place like not that long ago, and now the other one was to follow. Although they've been updated, like they have, like they look newer. Maybe it's been updated in a good way. But they're back. For those that missed them, some people may not have even noticed.
Yeah, I actually forgot about them.
That's the thing, yeah. So, Jungle Cruise is now down. It's been drained, and they're under refurbishment. A little lengthy in comparison for just being for Jingle Cruise, but who knows? There could be something more there, because they usually can do Jingle Cruise pretty quick, right? So
yeah, it's definitely more because they drained the whole thing, right? So interesting.
I don't think they don't usually do that for Jingle Cruise.
Yeah,
maybe they're combining maintenance with Jingle Cruise this year.
Yeah, this is
perhaps.
Yeah, I'm hoping Jingle Cruise is ready for Jingle Cruise. When is there a date yet?
I think it was only supposed to be like couple of months or something like that, so it should be in November. So
okay,
it should be ready to play time.
Oh, it says October 18th.
Yeah. Oh, maybe. Okay, I was wrong. It wasn't a couple of months. It wasn't very long at all. Okay. Oh. I thought last year though they didn't even hardly take it down for Jingle Cruise. I think they just did like overnight, didn't they? Because I want to say Jungle Cruise was still active for like the Halloween parties and stuff.
It wasn't long, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think they started adding a little things here and there like they do sometimes. The former Pirates League has been gutted, making way for the bar that we're talking about. The Tavern, excuse me, not the bar.
Yeah, same difference.
I know. So as we were talking earlier about Tron, there was a story I saw about the Disney World's longest running virtual queue, which of course is Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, no end in sight.
It's been longer than, even Rise of the Resistance. Because Rise of the Resistance was technically, what was it?
Gosh, what was it?
So
2019.
Yeah, it opened with virtual queue, right?
It was
in
like, yeah, just
2019.
because I remember doing it December of 2019.
Then it had a hiatus.
Yeah, during 2020.
So here's kind of a breakdown of how they did the virtual queue. So holding the record with the shortest is Journey of Water. It was 1 day.
Yeah.
So
That's going to be hard to beat.
the next shortest that had completed is Remy's, which was only 101 days.
Yeah.
Tiana's right now, by the way, is on 73 days, or
We'll see.
excuse me, it's less than 80 days at this point. At the time of this, so we'll say roughly 80 days.
Yeah, I think it's on track to be more than Ratatouille, but yeah.
It may not get there though. I mean, we'll see.
I bet it will.
Then, of course, Tron, of course, it just ended at 524, so it was short of Star Wars Rise of Resistance, which was 658 days.
Wow.
And easily the record holder and counting 800, we'll say it's pushing 840 days, because this was 836 days at that time.
Will it make it to 1,000?
It's going to stop at 999 days.
That would be funny.
I guess I don't. I think they just like the way it's working for Guardians, and it helps keep them from having this like astronomically long queue.
Yeah, because literally that's where everybody would go, especially with Test Track being down. I would not expect until at least Test Track's back that this would go off.
Which means it'll easily be over 1,000 days at that point.
Yeah. We're like 8-10 months probably from Test Track reopening. So
right. But if that's the case, then yes. Well, just take an example of like last summer when they did the paid after hours, right? When they had that going.
Right.
If you were in Westcott or Epcot West, if you were in
in California?
No, yeah, I was going to say in Future World West, I should say.
Yeah.
Which is, I know it seems backwards, but trust me, it's West. That's where Journey into Imagination, the Land, and the Living Seas is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I'm saying that some people are looking confused, like, wait, that's to the right when you go in, but Epcot's facing the other direction.
South.
That's what I'm saying. It faces south, so that's why that's west, for those that don't know. People don't know where they come in. It faces south.
Right.
So that's why that's Epcot. That's why that's Future World West, or whatever. What's it called now? World
Celebration.
World Celebration West, I guess, if they are divided into East and West.
Yeah.
And of course, on the other side, you had basically like Thrill Ride Central, right?
Yeah.
You had Guardians, you had Mission Space, and you had Test Track.
Yeah.
Even though Mission Space obviously doesn't hold the popularity of the other two quite, it still holds its own for the most part.
Yeah.
But those three on that side held more people, obviously, had more people going to that side than the other side.
Because who's going to want to ride the seas when there's no wait ever for that? So
we actually did it with no wait. We did it during that thing, but we were already over there.
Oh, and it's called World Nature over there.
World Nature, excuse me.
And
World Nature.
World Discovery on the other side.
That's how it's in. It's not east and west anymore. Yeah. So forgive me for not knowing the new terminology.
Yeah.
After years upon years of the old terminology.
Exactly.
So are they ever going to get rid of the virtual queue for Guardians? Surely you would think at some point they've got to, right? I mean, they're going to wait for something else to come along that's going to need a virtual queue?
Like I said, at least Test Track reopening will help, because that'll draw some people over to Test Track. That's it. I mean, otherwise you're just going to have Guardians with a 200-minute wait and everybody else eating food, I guess. I don't know. What else is there? So I think that's why they like the virtual queue for that reason.
All right. So to kind of keep this moving, to try to wrap up the news as quick as possible, construction returns to baseline Tap House.
Hey. Looks like more outdoor seating kind of refurb. I don't know.
Yeah.
Why, I don't know.
It's actually got the outdoor seating reduced at the moment, right? So that could cause a small problem there. And we're going to talk about baseline Tap House a little bit later as well.
Right. It's probably my second favorite other than La Cava del Tequila, which if nobody's listened to that yet, go back to last week's episode. But
right.
That was a good one.
Yep. We had Adam's favorite cast member in particular on the show. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. And we appreciate him. He was very gracious. We appreciated him coming on our show. So.
Told us a lot about, La Cava and how it operates. pretty interesting stuff. So
Yeah, for working there, you have to know your stuff.
yeah. And I would say baseline, like there's definitely folks that I see there a lot. So I'm trying to think of the places that I sort of know people or see the same cast members over and over. And baseline is one of those where I typically see the same folks. Brown Derby Lounge has a lot of the same people, been there for a long time. That's why I like those places, because you see the same people over and over. It's kind of nice. But I'm trying to think, are there other places? I'm sure there are. I'm just not thinking.
Well, we'll get to that. Like I said, we're gonna do. Yeah. I'm gonna try to hurry this up so we can get to that topic, because I feel like that topic is gonna take a minute. But one thing we just discovered on September 21st, kind of a cool thing. Guardians, who we were just talking about briefly, is going to be playing the song September on repeat at Cosmic Rewind.
So you'll always get September that day.
You will have no choice but to get September that day. Obviously, for the lyrics, because it says, "Do you remember the 21st day of September?" Right?
Yeah.
So,
right. I think they did that last year too. I think they did that.
I don't remember it last year, but maybe I'm wrong.
I feel like I remember some.
The only thing I remember was the Christmas overlay, which was not as impressive as originally. I mean, it was still okay, but
because
they had one track.
Because they didn't do it last year. Am I remembering that right? Because they did it the first year the ride opened.
Talking about the Christmas thing?
Yeah.
Maybe you're right.
That would be 22.
Yeah, it was open in 22 was the year it opened.
And that was the year they did the Christmas song. And then I don't think they did it last year, the Christmas song.
If they did, it didn't make headlines. So
right. I don't remember them doing it. Because I guess nobody liked it. But
gotcha.
I thought it was decent. I thought it was something new. But again, they want the classic stuff.
Okay. We were also mentioned Test Track just a minute ago. Do you want to get like a description of Test Track? We'll call it 3.0, right? So it says, Walt Disney Imagineering is collaborating with Chevrolet to push innovation forward and celebrate humanity's enduring drive, pun intended, on the thrilling road to a brighter tomorrow. Imagineers are reaching back into history for inspiration from the original world of motion and bringing that spirit of optimism to the next iteration of the Test Track attraction. Okay, the queue will feature 6 distinct exhibits, and within each room, celebrate the vehicles and people behind the vehicles that push the envelope and help people to get to the next chapter in their motion journey. New show scenes are being added. We already know that part about the show scenes. Okay, so it says, enjoy a joyride through scenes focusing on onboard technology, customization, and personalization. So it sounds similar to like an ending of Spaceship Earth type deal, doesn't it? Followed by a trip through a scenic outdoor route, reminding us all of the joys of driving, taking in the world around us, and spending quality time with friends and family. I'm trying to figure out how the world of motion part fits in, but, we'll see.
Yeah, I'm wondering if it's the queue, because they talked about 6 distinct exhibits celebrating. Oh, it says vehicles and the people behind those. But if this is by Chevrolet, they're not going to be like Henry Ford and the assembly line, right?
Right.
Do that, are they?
I don't think they've ever done anything Ford related, have they?
Yeah, not at Test Track, because it's always been Chevrolet.
Or even World of Motion, because it was always GM. Right. GM is not Ford Motors.
Right.
GM used to cover a lot more things. Like they used to have Chevy, Pontiac, Cadillac, what have you. Anything that was GM.
Right, so it's not going to be that. So the other thing that jumped out at me was because they talked about the outdoor route, like a scenic outdoor route. Like, is that the actual outdoor part or the indoor part to make it look like it's outdoors?
Yeah. It's still going to be in. Yeah, right. That's a good question before going on the outdoor part. Because, they're still going to have high speed outside. So I wonder how you build up to that. I hope that they do a good job of building up to that, because the story all fit, right? I mean, you faked the crash test and did the actual what they do. They take it on speed tests and turning tests. The curve, how it handles curves.
Yeah. So the concept art, the only one they've really shared is, makes it look as though it's the indoor
Yeah,
It's
the scene on the
indoors,
indoors where you did
but it
the
looks
sharp
like
curves.
but it looks like outdoors. Yeah, they made it. There's a lot of trees and stuff, and maybe like sunlight that they're showing in there.
Uh-huh.
So I'm like, okay, that's cool, I guess. But
Uh-huh.
are they gonna make some of this look like World of Motion and bring back some scenes from that? I don't think so.
Yep.
Anyway, hopefully it'll be good.
All right, so I'm wanting to jump into this a little bit, possibly because I've been kind of looking to see, what would I do on my upcoming trip, by the way, when it comes to food and everything.
Yeah. Well,
If you've been listening to this show for a while, you also know that it's been typical of me to continuously look for places to swap on my trip. Like
yes.
I'll start at one resort and I'll end
And
up at another, and almost
8
always
resorts later, it's like, oh, I guess I ran out of time, so I'm going here.
Sometimes. So I may have mentioned on this show where I'm going to stay. So I'm not even going to mention the actual again. If I have mentioned
Because it
already, you'll
might.
just have to go dig for it.
Yeah, it might change.
You'll find out like the week before, probably, that where I'm actually the
Right.
last episode prior.
Spin the wheel and see if we.
So, but anyway, I got it on the topic of restaurants and seeing if it's changed any since the last time we did an episode on restaurants. And what I was curious about is, especially after last week with Barbus, that was more of a bar category.
Sure.
I was curious as to what different, we'll say, sites, how it's measured among the public in some cases, or in some cases, like a place like Touring Plans, their subscribers for the most part.
Yeah.
But this was like a summary according to TripAdvisor, which is used by a lot of folks, right?
Okay.
They start off in this article by an honorable mention being Trader Sam's Grog Grotto. But it was an honorable mention. So obviously it's not, they're using top 12 here. Okay.
Yeah.
So they have it at number 12. They have Cape May Cafe. You ever been there?
Yes. I ate there recently, actually.
And not impressed, it didn't sound like?
The dinner buffet, not great.
Okay.
Breakfast, it's hard to screw up breakfast, so it's okay. I think you have some decent choices for breakfast. It's been a while since I've done the breakfast, but the dinner was okay.
I mean, as far as, it being a buffet like the style where you go and get it yourself, all that good stuff. I mean, breakfast is what I had there most recently. I mean, breakfast was breakfast.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think there was a few different options, though, than your typical. But I think for dinner, they had like crab legs. They had, if I remember correctly, they had salmon, stuff like that, but you don't always get at a buffet. There was several seafood options in addition to like prime rib and stuff that you could always get. But it was okay, though. It wasn't like amazing. But...
So it's just all right for me, dog.
And buffet is like, I'm at the age now where it's like, I'm not going to get my money's worth for
the kids, right?
Well, for them or myself.
You either.
Yeah, like I'm not going to pig out just to like feel like I got my money's worth because I don't want to do that to myself anymore. So,
right. Yeah, exactly.
There was a day where I would double my the cost and what I ate, but not anymore.
I hear you.
I feel like the price was okay at Cape May. Maybe that's why it was so high up because you get a lot of food for the money, probably. But
okay. Number 11 was Flying Fish. We ate their breakfast at one time a long time ago.
Yeah, I've had it for dinner semi-recently, and I enjoyed it. The kids didn't love it because it's signature, and they're paying a lot for food that they don't really care for.
Right.
But I thought it was good. It was, I like it.
All right. So, and then coming in at number 10, we have, I don't even know why they put this one on there, Ravello Italian Restaurant. That's at the Four Seasons Resort. That's not really Disney World.
Well, I mean, it
kind of is.
Disney property, I guess, yeah.
This one I feel like might be a little low for what it is. Sanaa at Animal Kingdom Lodge.
Yeah, I've always heard good things. I don't think I've not eaten at that one.
I know James, my brother, and his family ate there on their trip. They were pretty impressed with it, particularly the bread service.
Yeah.
what it gets known for.
That's the go-to, yeah. That's what everybody talks about.
Following up right at it, number 8 is Boma.
Yeah, the good buffet.
I've had dinner there, and no, I haven't had the breakfast. I've had dinner there. I actually thought the dinner was pretty good. It's a pretty wide variety and decent food.
Yeah.
So
it reminded me a lot of Tusker House, of course, minus characters, but
yeah, I feel like it suffered a little bit from a little bit overhyped, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot
good.
of unique food, which is good if you want to try something new or different than your typical. I like that, but it's still a buffet, and it's like I don't really do buffets anymore. It's
right.
It's like Thanksgiving, where you just like throw a bunch of stuff on a plate, and you really don't end up eating a lot of it because it's like just a bunch of different things. I'd rather just pick one thing and go with it nowadays because you're going to pay for that later.
Gotcha. Number 7, Citricos.
I like Citricos. I think Jason hates on it. I don't know why. I love Citricos. I like the ambiance.
You don't know why you love Citricos?
I don't know why he hates on it.
Okay.
Because I like it. I think it's a good restaurant. It's not like super signature. It tries to be a little fancier than it is, but I think it's great. I've always liked Citricos, so.
Okay.
I've never had a bad meal there.
You will appreciate this. Coming in at number 6 on this particular one was Geyser Point Bar and Grill.
Hey, it's great. I agree. Food actually is quite good there. And the drinks are not all my favorites, but there were some good ones on there. So, and the atmosphere is awesome. Something about Geyser Point, that's the closest I've ever been to being struck by lightning at Disney. Just popped in my head. I actually saw it strike Discovery Island across the lagoon, like saw the lightning bolt hit. And then,
all right.
Yeah. Anyway.
Okay. Number 5, Chef Art Smith's Homecoming. I can say that I've enjoyed my meals that I've had there.
Huge portions too. Good stuff.
Yep. We went with some friends and we got to try a little bit of like everybody's plate, so it was all good. Coming in at number 4 is the Boathouse, which is actually one I've been intrigued by. I've never eaten there, but I kind of want to go there.
I've had lunch there. It's definitely good. I would go back for sure.
Did you actually ride in a boat?
No, because that costs like $100 to ride the amphibicar.
So you don't want to ride the amphibicar?
I don't want to pay like it's seriously like $100 or more to.
Isn't that how it works though? Can you ride the amphibicar while you eat? Isn't that how it works? Or no?
I think. Well, I don't know. I assume it would be before or after.
And here's one that I've done. Jico. I have done Jico. Jico is in at number 3.
Yeah, that's
on this
good.
list.
It's definitely good.
It's definitely a good one if you want unique and it's adult basically. I think they do allow kids in there, but I just meant it's more geared toward adults.
Right. Yeah.
It is one of the signatures.
Yeah.
So you got that, and
good.
like I said, I had a good experience there. That was one we did on our honeymoon, actually.
Mm-hmm. It's always
number
been
2,
consistent too. I would throw that in there. Yeah.
Yeah. Number 2 is Shula's Steakhouse. Never been there.
Jason ate there. I remember him talking about it being meh. Remember, I think that was a year ago. He went with his parents.
That's how he said it. He said meh.
If I remember correctly, that was his review.
That was his exact words, meh.
Because it's like your typical steakhouse. I don't think it was anything spectacular, but
gotcha.
Yeah, I've not eaten at that one. I've eaten at several places at the Dolphin, but not.
And then obviously people on TripAdvisor have like expensive taste because their number 1 is Victoria and Albert's.
Well, I mean, I think that's just because if you're going to spend that much, you're going to make yourself enjoy it, I guess. So,
yeah,
it's definitely on my list of at some point I'm going to do that one, but
at some point you're going to pull the trigger on the costs. Is that
exactly. But I think it would be worth it in this like. I know it costs even more than the regular, but the chef's table there is like a 10-course meal, so it'd be awesome.
Right. So this is interesting. If you look for restaurants in Walt Disney World on the current TripAdvisor app, they have a section, of course, called the Essentials, which, once again, the top restaurants is still Victoria and Albert's. If you look there, I'm starting to feel like there maybe is
didn't it
some kind of a fix in here.
Well, didn't it finally get its Michelin star and all that? Victoria and Albert's this year,
Possibly.
I think it did. If I remember right,
Possibly.
It finally got the recognition. So,
I will say this: when we just mentioned Jico, it got actually the Traveler's Choice winner. It got that award in 2023. So that's a good accomplishment for Jico. And so did Boathouse. Boathouse got one.
Need to go back to both of those.
And Citrico's got one. I was just trying to look. So there you go. But they have listed here on the Essentials, they put Nomad Lounge.
Yeah, it is a great place. Good food.
Space 220 is on here.
Yeah.
Of course, we mentioned Victoria. Dahlia Lounge is on here.
I do. We went there a few months ago too. Love it.
Sanaa got a 2023 award, as did Wine Bar George.
Hey, I actually ate there too recently. I thought it was good.
And on this list for this essential, Sebastian's Bistro is on the list. So
I don't think it's as good as it was when it first opened, but it's still good.
And following up the essentials is Ohana, Satuli, and the Hollywood Brown Derby.
I would go back to Ohana for breakfast, but
dinner is just like
so much
complete waste of food.
Yeah,
it's what that is.
Right.
I'm not saying anything about the quality. It's just the amount. I mean, good Lord.
I wish, if I remember right, you can order room service if you're staying at the Polynesian. Some of the food, I would just get those honey coriander
wings.
Maybe
that's what they do with the leftovers.
No, they just let's give it to the room service.
We'll just prepare it. We'll warm it up a little.
Right. The noodles and the wings I would eat all day, but it's just that unlimited steak and chicken and shrimp. It's like I just can't. It's too much.
That's a lot of meat.
I just ate a tub of meat.
Yeah, a lot of meat.
Yeah.
Exactly. A tub of meat?
Yep, exactly.
I kind of wanted to quickly go through that because I really wanted to get to the touring plans ratings, just because theirs is always so interesting to me because I feel like people really factor price into theirs a lot.
Yeah.
And the reason why I say this is because their highest rated stuff are things like this, right?
Yeah.
So these are the ones that are in the 99%.
I'm curious. Some quick services.
Yes. Aloha Isle.
Yes.
Gets the 99%. Fantasyland Ice Cream Cart.
Wow. Okay.
Gets 99%. Pineapple Lanai, I notice a theme there.
Yeah.
Gets 99%.
Get them
Magic Kingdom Popcorn Carts get 98%, which I can understand the popcorn. That's
if you're
a popular
refilling,
thing.
Again, best value on property is refilling those popcorn buckets for $2.25. So,
right. So,
yeah,
great
snack for
things
cheap.
like that. Right, get at the top. The very first one, if you do all of Walt Disney World, it gets a mention on the table service. Essentially, is actually, interestingly enough, Wolfgang Puck Bar and Grill.
Okay, I've eaten the to-go from there, and it's fine, but it's not the first thing I want to do if I'm at Disney Springs. So
on their side, it got an exceptional guest rating.
Interesting.
It gets high marks in quality, service, and friendliness. The value is almost to the next. It's almost 4 stars. It's 3.5.
Okay.
And I feel like this one's also got price factor into it. It's the Sanaa Kumsha breakfast.
Oh, okay. So
now here's one on the list that we're all familiar with coming up next at 97%, and it gets an exceptional rating, is Satuli Canteen.
Definitely. I've never had anything bad there. All of the different combos I've tried have been delicious, and it's fairly healthy. So
now this one doesn't have really a breakdown other than it just says it has 4.5 stars all over, and the value gets an A. So
yeah, definitely.
A place called Mardi Gras at Port Orleans French Quarter. I'm not familiar with that one. It says it's a bar or lounge. There's a lot of bar or lounges on here too. Go figure.
Not surprising.
Dahlia Lounge.
Yeah.
as in at 98%.
I wouldn't say it's like super value because some of the drinks are quite expensive and some of the food too, but overall, it's hard to beat.
Yeah.
It's really good.
And this one's interesting. The caramel couche is that how you say it? I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
In Germany or what?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Basically, it gets an exceptional rating.
Yeah, that caramel popcorn is really good, and I love caramel, so
It's actually, if you break it down, it's actually ranked number 2 of the 21 market options, as they call them.
It's unique.
Walt Disney World.
I can't think of another caramel shop, so it's definitely stands out.
So the next one on this list, and it is actually number 4 out of 52 bar and lounge options, is Baseline Tap House.
Yeah.
Gets an exceptional.
Good value. You got good food, great atmosphere, good music, good staff.
And Rose and Crown Pub.
Yeah.
So
it's fun to go in there.
Which one was number 1 of the bar? I don't see it so far.
La Cava Tequila? I mean, I hope it is because...
Actually, no. The number 1 is the Scat Cats Club Lounge.
What? Yeah, Port Orleans.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
It gets the best rating on touring plans.
It is a big resort, so I guess a lot of people stay there. Maybe the numbers got skewed.
Could have been. But Rose and Crown's on here. I feel like that's a good one.
I mean, I do like the options you can get at Rose and Crowns. Well, but I mean, you do have the walk-up option, but they do have... Jason got me onto this where you can go in and order like a half Guinness, half, I forgot what it was, something else. You can get like half and half stuff you can mix and match. And I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool.
Other things high on the list, we continue with our non-table service for the most part. Sunshine Tree Terrace. Once again, that's basically ice cream.
Right.
So we got that. Big Thunder Mountain popcorn cart. We got more popcorn carts.
Okay.
The next 3 are popcorn carts. So.
Well, again,
here's one of
25.
Here's one I've never eaten: Temu refreshments in Animal Kingdom.
Yeah, I have eaten there. Is that what is? I'm trying to think of where that is.
It's in Africa.
The name is very familiar.
Yeah, it's Africa. It's basically a quick service.
Is that where I've gotten breakfast before? Let me look that up.
You can get breakfast there. It does. Like it has. The selections listed right here say things like breakfast, flat breads, French toast sticks, yogurt, quinoa salad, pineapple soft serve, things like that. But this says it's basically open from 10:30 a.m. to park close, so it must have breakfast items.
Huh.
I don't get that.
Oh yeah, we do. Yeah, we have
basically breakfast and snacks. That's pretty much what it is.
Yeah, we got breakfast from there. Honey pistachio croissant.
Oh, that you got from there? That was really good.
Yeah. From Tamu. Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah. So, Nomad Lounge.
Yes, of course.
It's interesting. This is down to number 6 of the 52 bar lounge options. So apparently, according to Touring Plans listeners, as far as bar/lounge options, La Cava comes in at number 7 out of 52.
Yeah, top 10. It's number 1, but yes, they just don't realize it yet.
They just don't know.
Yeah.
No, I've noticed that a lot of the subscribers or people who vote in these there do factor in price, so I don't know if maybe that was a factor.
Sure, yes, the Cava is a little on the pricier side, that's for sure. But
yeah, I've noticed that a lot of the Touring Plans voters tend to value.
Yeah, I could see that too.
Yeah, they price is a big factor for.
If Port Orleans is like getting the top restaurants and lounges, then yeah, I think that would make sense. I'm not going to venture out over there to...
And I'm trying to figure this one out. This is a market option, okay? The screen door. I don't know if I've gotten anything from the screen door at Boardwalk.
That sounds very familiar, too. I'm like, did I get something from there recently?
So if we were to break this down by park, we have the overall top-rated at Magic Kingdom. What would you think it would be based on these, the groundwork that I've given you as far as how they vote or how they pick?
A popcorn cart?
Oh. No, it's not actually. It's not.
So we're talking top restaurant?
Yeah, and it could be quick service or table service. So
not like Aloha Isle. We're talking like an actual restaurant where you could sit or...
You can get food.
It's going to probably be Pecos Bills. I don't know.
It's actually Sleepy Hollow.
Really? Sleepy Hollow?
Yeah, I think one of the reasons is you get those Nutella waffles and everything
Do
for
they
a
still
decent
have
price.
the waffle
Oh
sandwich?
yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. And you get that I think the price once again factored into that for what you get. And it's a snack credit, so yeah.
Oh, of course, yeah. When you factor in the dining plan.
Yeah.
I'd tell you one that's really grown on me is Pinocchio Village House.
Let's see. What kind of ratings did they give the Pinocchios?
You can satisfy the
Pinocchio's
kids
is
there.
below average. It's 80% on touring plans.
I mean, those flatbreads are not bad, and you can get 3 or 4 of them and feed a group. Keep the kids happy. So mobile order.
So I actually kind of agree with this one. The highest table service
at Magic
on the list. Yeah.
Well, my go-to would be Skipper Canteen, but
so apparently more people as far as table service over there, and this is only at 93%. Keep in mind.
Be our guess. It better not
is
be.
Liberty Tree Tavern.
Oh, okay.
And that's one of my favorites. So I actually I'm good with that.
I would actually go with Diamond Horseshoe just because it's the exact same food, but it's a cooler atmosphere.
Well, and on this list also is one of our favorites, Columbia Harbor House is on here.
Love
at the top. It's just slightly below Gaston's Tavern, though, which that is a good cinnamon roll over there. It's quite big, I think is what it is. The cinnamon roll is huge.
You can't really drink like Gaston there because it's Magic Kingdom. When are they going to actually serve alcohol at Gaston's Tavern? As soon as the pirate one opens?
I have no idea. And again, this inexpensive is another reason why I think people like it.
I guess you can get a giant cinnamon roll for $8 or whatever now, probably.
Yeah. You could probably feed at least 2 people.
Probably.
Main Street Bakery, it gets a high rating.
Okay.
The Friar's Nook actually gets a pretty high rating.
Friar's Nook.
That's basically ice cream, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean,
that's all I remember getting there.
Well, apparently it serves some breakfast items. And it has fried foods and stuff. So.
Okay.
Casey's Corner is just apparently for this group, it's just above average. That's it.
I love eating the dogs there. The hot dogs. Hot dogs, sorry.
All right. Got to be specific there.
If you're in the mood for
especially in this day and age.
It is.
Skipper Canteen comes in next, which obviously that's a lot lower than you would have put it, right? You would have put it at the top, right?
Yeah, it would be my favorite. But again, the kids probably, it's harder to feed the kids there. That may be why.
So Cinderella's Royal Table actually is right at average. And I think one of the reasons, though, is like if you look at its individual ratings, the quality gets a 3, service gets a 4, friendliness gets a 4, but the value gets a 2.
Yeah.
I think people think it's overpriced for what it is.
I think it is, yeah.
Yeah. So, but the lowest one with the rating, believe it or not, is not Tony's, although it's pretty low. It's actually Be Our Guest. Lowest rating.
I can see that. It's overhyped.
It's right down there with Tortuga Tavern, which I think Tortuga Tavern gets a low rating simply because it's of variety more than anything else. When
they took it off the lunch where you could get lunch for a decent price there, now the lunch costs as much as dinner. It's ridiculous. Like, I will never go back to Be Our Guest unless they change that stupid price model they have. So
yeah, I think it's one of those that really was kind of like one of its biggest selling points was where you were, and now it's kind of worn off.
Right. It's like, it's cool to sit in the Rose Room or in the main ballroom or whatever,
and then when you go there, you're like, the Rose Room is super small, and it's like you can't see your hand in front of your face.
Yeah, it's so dark in there.
Then you have the best room. Really, is the biggest one is the ballroom.
Right, and you can
and the other one's
snow outside or whatever.
Yeah, and the other one's not even in the movie at all. It's just like there's a place where Beast and Belle are.
There's like art in there,
right
stuff.
Yeah,
but the food, it's not worth the price they're charging now.
Gotcha. Okay, so if I do this individually, we're going to Epcot now, right?
Okay.
The number one rated place is a bar.
La Cava? I'm just kidding.
It's actually Rose and Crown.
It's not.
The people will give.
They're wrong.
Number 2 is La Cava, though.
Okay.
So this is of dining options in all of Epcot. The top 2 are bars, apparently.
Well, it is Epcot, so you guys you have to understand.
Followed by Yorkshire County Fish Shop.
Yeah, makes sense.
So that's a good one.
Fish and chips. It's a good value still.
The next one is Les Halles Boulangerie Pâtisserie,
Yeah, I agree. That's a good one.
which, the desserts over there are always, yeah.
Yeah, you can find tons of good stuff there. Yeah.
And then followed by more desserts in Norway with the Kringla Bakery og Cafe.
I do love Kringla, man. I do love it.
Yeah. Then we have our first table service on the list, which is, what's your guess? What do you think the first table service that made the list?
My gut tells me I should say Space 220, but
No.
It's probably the price that gets it knocked down.
I think you've eaten here.
Oh.
I know Jason's talked about it. Tepanido.
Oh, Tiffany. Okay. Yeah.
I guess would be number one table service because it's the first one on the list, and followed by another one. And we were talking about value, right? How much this particular group of people that vote on touring plans really like value. Via Napoli is the next one.
Mm-hmm. Well, Barbara said to get the pizza, so
there you go. Best. Well, it even has down here one of the remarks is the best pizza in Walt Disney World, which a lot of people will believe. So,
I mean, I think it is. I don't think it's the best pizza anywhere, but it is probably the best Disney one. Yeah.
And then followed by the Odyssey. That's kind of an odd one. I don't think, was the Odyssey open all the time? It's only open during certain times, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm like for food, though, it's like the Odyssey doesn't have food usually unless there's a festival. Occasionally they'll have like a...
Well, it says snacks, so I guess that counts. I don't know.
I guess. And it's a good
Here's
place.
Here's a quick service one you might could agree with being high on the list. Regal Eagle.
Yeah, Regal Eagle's always... And you can mobile order the Tennessee lemonades from Regal Eagle. You don't have to wait in line outside either if you didn't want to.
The one following this is interesting. The Refreshment Outpost.
Oh yeah, is that the African Outpost one?
Yes, that's what that is.
They usually have something good there. Yeah, I've gone there a lot actually.
Well, what's listed here anyway as the highlights, I should say, are hot dogs, soft serve, and a waffle cone, slushies, coffee or tea, giraffe safari amber beer.
I feel like it changes depending on the season, but
could be.
Yeah, because usually it's something different every time. But
then we have a couple of other bars, Japan's Sake Bar,
and
then the Germany Wingkeller.
Right, okay.
And then we have another quick service. We have Summerfest. I don't think I've ever gotten anything from Summerfest, ever. Then we also have Refreshment Port at World Showcase. I think you know which one that one is. It's usually got something there, food and wine a lot of the times. Changes frequently.
Yeah.
Next, we have one that's used to be a popular one. I think it's gone down over the years as far as its popularity. I mean, I don't know what the reason being, because I don't think the quality changed much. But Le Cellier,
yeah,
it's just in the above average category apparently at the moment.
It's still good.
Oh yeah. Beer Garden, you ever eaten there?
I've not.
No.
Jason has. But...
Spice Road Table is next.
Mm-hmm. Which I've eaten there.
There's a lot here in Epcot, so I'm going to try to get to them as quickly as I can.
Yeah.
I don't know what this is. Shikisai? It's a sushi, I guess.
Oh, is that the...
Oh, that's the new sushi restaurant, right?
Yeah, is that the one? Is that what it's called? But yeah, I mean...
Yeah, it's a table service.
I would definitely want to eat there, yeah.
And actually replaced Tokyo Dining, so yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, I want to try that.
91% La Cantina de San Angel. That's the...
Cantina, yeah.
That's the quick service. I would give it a higher rating than that, honestly.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Last couple of times I've been there, I've been great.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely good.
Garden Grill, I'm a little surprised it's down here. It's one of my tops over there.
Might be the price, probably.
And they might be thinking dinner because it's basically the same type food you could get at, say, Liberty Tree or Diamond Horseshoe, just about, for dinner.
I feel like even for breakfast, though, I'm not getting my money's worth there anymore because I don't eat like I used to.
I don't know. Breakfast is still good.
It is good.
I think it had a better menu prior to COVID, though. It's kind of the same thing, but it's not exactly the same thing. I mean, that cinnamon roll is good, but it's not the sticky bun.
Yeah, it's not as, but the kids still love it. And then fresh watermelon's great. And then the
steak that they get there is pretty good to me.
Yeah, that steak is good, very good. That's what I usually end up getting more of is that and the potatoes.
Katsura Grill is on here. That's a Japanese quick service.
Yeah, that's a good little.
Why does Japan have so much food?
They have a ton, yeah. They
They've
really
like-
do.
yeah. Then coming down at 90% connections. That's kind of interesting.
I
mean,
I
it's
like
new.
Connections. I really like
Yeah,
it. I end up eating there a lot.
I think it deserves a little better rating than this.
And honestly, pizza is probably the second best pizza is Connections. It's not
Really?
bad
You've
at
had the
all.
pizza there?
Mm-hmm. It's quite
Okay.
good.
Tangerine Cafe. I don't know if you've been there.
Yeah.
Moroccan.
Oh, yes. Okay. Yes, I have.
The
done
quick
that.
service one.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's good.
La Crêperie de Paris.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
The
it's
crepes
outside.
over there. It's got a low one.
Probably.
The Margarita bar, interestingly enough, the one outside, is actually only at 88%. It's considered below average. That's interesting.
Yeah, I usually don't wait in that line because,
Tutto Gusto. Then we got Santa Angel. Monsieur Paul is at 87%. It's actually got a low one. Jason would not agree with that.
is it just the price maybe? Price
It's
point?
possibly. Let's see what it says on the stars. Well, the value is actually at 3. It's not as low as I would have thought. But it's only based on 39 surveys. Obviously, there's not too many people that are spending the money to go there. So,
Yeah.
but at the bottom is not La Hacienda. I'm just going to go straight to the bottom to see what the worst one is because there's so many food options at Epcot. It's just taking too long. Wait a minute. Coral Reef's down near the bottom, which I think is not necessarily accurate to me. But Nine Dragons has been traditionally at the
Low.
bottom.
Yeah, it's always been.
So, yeah.
I like the quick service is all I've had. The one outside, which is I think the same kind of stuff. I thought it was pretty good.
Nine Dragons at the bottom, actually.
You can get Chinese food anywhere, so
you think that's
makes sense. That's probably why.
So moving along to try to wrap this up. Hollywood Studios.
Hollywood.
The number one is one of your favorites. Guess what it is?
Brown Derby Lounge? Baseline?
Yep, it's Baseline.
Okay. I was going to say, those are the two that I would go to.
So we have a bar that's number one, followed by coffee. The Trolley Car Cafe is the next one.
The Starbucks? Is that the Starbucks?
Basically,
okay.
Yes.
I mean, you're lured in with the coffee smell when you walk in there, but I never wait in that line for a Starbucks, so it's not worth it to me.
Right.
Go to a Joffrey's Cart.
And here's one that's interesting. The quick service Ronto Roasters has a high rating.
I do love a good breakfast Ronto wrap. Is amazing. Their overnight oats, good stuff.
I think they probably are one of the breakfast go-tos especially if you're heading to Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah.
So
that's what I would go get.
Then the Brown Derby Lounge. So it was you do have one of the favorites.
Yeah.
Two of the favorites.
Brown Derby Lounge is awesome.
Followed by Woody's Lunchbox. That's interesting. Woody's is okay, but I don't think I would consider it one of the
I used to love
ones.
the tachos, but been a while since I've been there.
Okay, then followed by Docking Bay 7, which I don't understand that.
Yeah, not really.
I thought price would have been a factor there.
Yeah, pretty meh.
Hollywood and Vine is next, which I haven't been there in quite
Hollywood
some time.
and Slime.
Hey, it's ahead of ABC Commissary, which I don't get that.
Yeah, ABC Commissary all the way.
Yeah.
Even Backlot Express, I would rather go there than Hollywood and Vine, to be honest. Again, it's just a buffet thing. I don't really do buffets anymore.
Yeah. So the next one I'm getting down there, Brown Derby, is in at 89%. 50s Prime Time is in at 89%, which I actually like 50s Prime Time.
Yeah, I do too. I thought 50s was great, so.
Oasis Canteen.
Yeah, okay, outside of the stunt show. I'm like, all right.
Yeah. Sunshine Day Bar.
Yeah, okay. I see the pattern now.
Yeah. Then Backlot Express follows that up, actually. Which I thought,
I don't mind it.
Then here's an interesting one. One of the newest ones, Rodeo Roundup Barbecue, is behind Backlot Express. As far as rating, it's below average.
Probably the price point again, because they make you pay the, family style.
Followed by Fairfax Fair and then Tune In Lounge, which I think you actually got something at Tune In Lounge you thought was all right?
Mm-hmm. Tune In's okay. It's small, though. I mean, very small, but...
Then at 83% is Sci-Fi.
Yeah, I like Sci-Fi.
Then Mama Mill Roses.
And that one's okay. Again, you might want to eat there soon.
You're right.
We'll
Could
find
be
out.
going away.
Yeah.
Or this one, or Pizzerizzo. It could be the next.
That's
it could
true.
be a Target as well.
I need to eat Pizzerizzo again.
Rosie's All American Cafe is at 79%, which is below average.
Yeah.
Oga's Cantina at 79%.
Yeah, they need more food. They need food, and the drinks are meh.
So apparently the worst place, which is probably not that surprising at Hollywood Studios, is Catalina Eddie's.
Yeah, I mean,
which I kind of can see
right?
that.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah, Sunset Boulevard. I can see that.
Yeah,
so
it's okay. I mean, I'm hardly ever over there to eat,
so yeah.
You don't want to eat after you've ridden Rock and Roller Coaster and Tower of Terror. You don't want to do right before or after.
So. Right. All right, so Animal Kingdom's the last park.
Good food, though.
The one I mentioned earlier, the Tamu Tamu, right? They had the breakfast where you'd eaten before.
Yeah.
So it was the top rated, but right there with it is Satuli Canteen. So we can't argue with that because we've always agreed with that.
Yeah. So good.
If you're doing quick service at Animal Kingdom, that's the go-to.
Yeah, for sure.
Nomad Lounge, although you could get you could get some of the better offerings of Tiffin's in Nomad Lounge.
So good. Yeah, it is very good.
Dawa Bar. I don't know. Have you ever been there? That's the one in Africa.
I feel like I've ordered. Is there a walk-up option there? I feel like I've ordered something.
I think there is. Yeah,
because that's the name is like I know I've been to it. I just don't know if I've. Yeah.
If you notice, these bars and lounges are actually near the top because there is booze there, but I mean, B, you can get like food from some of the places that actually are serving food and just get like a smaller, not as expensive, right? In some cases,
get a sampling. Yeah.
Yeah. Yak and Yeti, quality beverages. That's not the actual restaurant.
The walk up or the counter service.
Yeah. Well, this is the bar actually.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Thirsty River Bar.
I know.
Do you know where that one is?
I'm trying to think of where that is. I know is that the one over by Everest?
It's in Asia, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I'll definitely order from there. That's a good one.
Mr. Kamal's. I didn't know about this one. This one's a quick service. What is that one? It says it's a vegetarian options along the walkway between Asia and Africa.
Is that little like food truck?
It's like a little shack.
Oh yeah, it is. That's pretty good. They usually have fries or something.
Well, one of the pictures of some of these is I don't know what this is. It looks like some sort of a fried something. Maybe? I can't tell what it is. Something sort of like a dumpling and some fries. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's.
It says it just says vegetarian option, so I don't know what that would be.
Yeah, those are both good, actually. Yeah.
Flame Tree Barbecue comes in.
Yeah, not bad.
Been a popular.
That one. Mm-hmm.
Zuri's Sweet Shop, so it's like candy, basically.
Yeah, is that the one in Africa?
It is.
Yeah. That's not bad.
Yak and Yeti, the actual restaurant.
Yeah.
So that one's good. Harambe Market, which was... You're familiar with
decent
that one,
choices.
Right? It's kind of like a quick service, right?
Uh-huh.
Creature Comforts. I don't know that I've got anything there. It's basically the Starbucks of Animal Kingdom.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yak and Yeti Local Food Cafe, so that's the quick service version. So Yak and Yeti has a restaurant, a quick service, and a bar, essentially.
Right. All pretty good.
Tusker House.
Yeah.
It's above average. It's actually a good character option, and they have a lot of variety.
Yeah.
That's one that's especially good if you can catch it at the Switch, right?
Right. So you can do breakfast and lunch.
Right. If you can catch a late enough breakfast where you can get both, that's the better option there.
Probably, if you're really hungry, I guess.
Well, I mean, you can get a sampling of each if you want to. Just sample a little bit of everything. Tiffin's is 92%. Gets a pretty good rating. Pungu Pungu, I like this one.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one over there. That's where you can get the pineapple cream cheese rolls. Right.
What's that drink? It's like a frozen boba thing my kids love. Night Blossom or something. Is that the one?
Yeah. That's one of the ones.
That's the one you can get with the kids.
Night Blossom is it? Yeah, because it's a non-alcoholic.
Because the boba. Yeah, that's the one.
And you can get the Hawks Grog Ale there. So.
Right. So you don't have to go to Satuli to get that, but yeah.
Restaurantosaurus is 85%, so it's in the fair range.
I actually liked it. The pizza's not bad there either.
Isn't they have pizza at Restaurantosaurus?
Or is that...
That's the one that has that's basically the That's basically the Backlot Express of Animal Kingdom.
Right. Wait. What's the one that has pizza?
Pizzafari?
Pizzafari. That's no. There we go.
Literally has pizza in the title. Well, anyway, that's actually that's actually only at 78% as Pizzafari. It's actually the last. It's the lowest rated.
Yeah. Okay.
But just above that, and you would probably agree with this because it's just, if you had to guess, what is it?
Wait, as far as
think of one we haven't named. It's like the only table service we haven't named.
Oh, Rainforest.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know what you have against Rainforest these days.
I don't know. It's not the greatest. I don't know.
It's just not the greatest.
It's okay.
Well, anyway.
Kitschy.
That's kind of the list. I wanted to do a little bit over the food right there because, I'm going to be coming up. I don't know what I'm going to choose. I'm not really big into, I can't explain it. I do still like some good food, but I'm just not really big into, I have to have, this greatest, experience ever type deal. I have places that are my favorites sometimes that I like to go to already.
Right.
Some places I would like to try for the unique experience. Like Space 220 is more about the experience, I think.
Right. Yeah.
I
think it's worth it for that, but yeah.
Yeah, things like that.
The cool one.
And depending on where I end up staying, that might factor in too, as to where I would, because, it's hard to beat the resort dining, right?
That's true. Especially deluxe dining.
Really good. Deluxe dining. So, all right.
I'm hungry now.
You can find us on Facebook, on Twitter, and Instagram. That is at, X on Instagram. That is at TWTM Podcast. That's like my thing now. We have the Spreadshirt store still. It has most of our merchandise, I guess, at the moment. That is shop.spreadshirt.com/TWTM Podcast. There's also a YouTube channel. And where can we find that, Adam?
Our website, which is travelingwiththemouse.com. We have an email address, podcast@travelingwiththemouse.com. There's links to all that and more, including the Challenge Runner shirt link. Get that there as well.
And TeePublic.
Right.
Correct? That's where that one is.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll add some more inventory there eventually.
I'm trying to.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. For Adam, my name is John. This has been Traveling with the Mouse, and we hope you will join us on our next trip.
I'm hungry now.
Are you? Talk about
the dogs.
See if
I need a dog to eat. Hot dog.
Dog eat dog.
It's a dog eat dog world out there.